everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know that not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about. So we are here to do it for you. Remember, this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. I'm one of your hosts, Waba Plays, alongside, as always, Court. Hello, Court.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How are you?
I am. I turned my light on exactly as I started, and
I saw that. It got me good. Like, honestly,
dude, Gandalf was coming down the hill in Lord of the Rings 3.
Oh, wow. Look at that reference,
The streets.
Very dweeby.
Nerds in shambles right now for me calling it Lord of the Rings 3. You know what? Get wrecked. It is what it is. Alongside us, as always, is Pez.
What's
the
crack,
bandanaed
mates?
one?
It's crack, not crake. What's the crack, mates? Waba.
Do you know why the crack is 90? We learned.
I'll never understand that joke you guys say.
It's not a joke. It's vernacular of the Scotsman.
It's Irish.
Oh, Irish. Whatever. So the crack is 90 because it can't be 100. You got to leave some room. So it's got to be 90.
For the
what people? It's like saying keeping it 100, except it's keeping it 90 or something.
I like it.
Who knows? Also, that other voice you heard is the Gamer Graham. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Happy to be here. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Something. Who sang that?
It's been a while. Stained.
Aaron Lewis.
Don't tell me that like it's obvious. I haven't heard that song since the moon landing happened.
It is obvious. Greg, and Graham are old, and we all know this song like it's nobody's business. And Waba, you're just a dweeb.
I just watched a throwback of the Kids' Choice Awards where the songs for like best album was like Baha Men. Like they won. Spoilers. Creed. And that was me feeling old. But Stain, I believe, predates them a few years at least.
What are you talking about? Stain put out music until like their last album was like 2000 and like 12.
Yeah, but they went country, I think, afterwards.
They went country.
Yeah, Aaron Lewis went country.
Yeah. Hey, Biloxi, this is the. You know what? I can't say that on this show. But like that's what everybody knows. Like when Fred Durst introduced him, and it was like everybody got it from Winamp. And we were like all downloading it off Napster and stuff. And that was the version of this song. You're like, this is the best downloaded song ever.
Yep. Outside. I'm on the outside.
Okay, I'm downloading these songs. And you have to get DMCA'd. You can't DMCA'd because if we're singing it, I looked this up. Because anytime I sing, Graham, I was always like, you're going to give this stuff. It doesn't matter. We can sing.
The same. It sounds like the original. They're not going to tell the difference.
We can sing as much as we want.
Not when you're pitch perfect.
People have said I sound like Aaron Lewis. I don't know if you guys. I don't know if I told you guys this.
I'm on the outside. I'm looking in. Oh, I don't have that song. Thing. I can see through you.
Speaking of old music, I bought 1 gig iPod Nano for $10. That obviously I'm gonna resell, and it's full of Quartz music.
What?
It's full of like what is it? Pearl Jam. It has Dave Matthews Band. I know it's not your music, but it has Bob Marley, and then it has like one Spice Girl song. And I was like, this dude is a type. But
where's your Wallflowers?
I know one gig of music.
Wallflowers are good too. Jeez, we should do a music episode. I want to listen to this song.
Where'd they put it? Oh, I don't know.
I know no one else can hear it except me, so it doesn't matter because my mic won't pick it up. So it's good for me. Continue though. I'm listening to the song right now.
Soundtrack. So we're off the rails, but that's exactly where we want to be. Get us back on, we're going to talk about a little thing called the Steam Deck. We know we talked about it a little bit in the past, but we finally have some hands-on experience with it. With the Pez. Pez, you recently got your Steam Deck. Tell us about it.
So I picked up for those that don't know, the Steam Deck is it's Valve's basically Valve's answer to the Nintendo Switch. It's a portable, basically PC that runs off of Linux. It is pretty great. I got the mid-tier model, which was like 250 gigabyte internal. It was like it's like $530. It's a very expensive piece of tech for a portable, basically a portable computer, but this thing is pretty sweet, man. This thing is pretty sweet. I have loaded into it so far Ubisoft Connect, so I can download all my Ubisoft games. I've loaded Xbox Game Pass into it, so I can play all my Xbox Game Pass games. And then obviously I have all my Steam games. It runs off of Linux, so anything you can do in Linux, you can do in or on the Steam Deck. So right now I'm taking my time to learn the Linux operating system because I don't know it. I'm a Windows guy, so I've just I had a little Canadianness right there. I apologize.
You should, you know what you should do for our listeners? You should do little shorts or little videos on how to do everything you've been doing.
You're right. I should. But let's see. Last night,
Not
I
just
did.
a ball cap.
So I downloaded Arkham City. I've been playing that. It runs at about 720p, which is like perfect on a handheld, and 60 frames per second. I downloaded The Witcher 3, runs flawlessly. I downloaded Cult of the Lamb, runs flawlessly. So I kind of wanted to put it through these like AAA and indie tests. And then I did Persona 5 from Persona 5 Royal from Game Pass, and it worked great.
You're so smart and beautiful for doing that.
No, he's
Right.
not.
Yes, he is.
Pez, okay, I want for the listeners out there, Pez is very loves his handhelds. I think
I do.
that's fair to say. Yeah.
I do. I love handhelds. So when my youngest was little, we're probably talking like 2-3 years old, I would, as you know how it is with your kids, right? They're in the living room, they're eating breakfast or watching TV or whatever. I would sit with my Vita and I would remote play Destiny because my office, where my PlayStation was upstairs. And I couldn't sit upstairs and I couldn't like not be with her. So I've always been a handheld guy. The Switch came out. I love my Switch. And now I love my Steam Deck. I haven't had a ton of time with it, but I'm planning on doing a full review. I would say the Steam Deck, if you're a PC gamer and a parent, the perfect handheld for you. Because A, you already bought the games, right? So it's not like you have to buy games a second time. B, you can download your Steam games on your Steam Deck and they don't download on your PC. So you can pick and choose what you want. And then C, that portability is always clutch. So as of right now, I love the thing. The only thing I don't like, obviously, is going to be battery life. Lasts longer than my Switch battery, and I have the OLED Switch, so the battery life is better. And there are ways to tinker around that, turn the screen brightness down and whatever. So I will be doing a full review, but I can tell you right now, it is a pretty great piece of tech, and really excited to get super hands-on with it and put it through its paces.
So personal preference with the
Yes.
Vita, one of my favorite games to play on the Vita on the go was Rogue Legacy. So I just saw that Rogue Legacy 2 is verified for deck and on sale this week apparently. So
Yep. So
if you like
what
give it a try. I'd like to see how it plays on.
one of the things I also like about the Steam Deck is the inputs. So it has your normal, you know what, for the people, I actually have it next to me. So the people on YouTube, you'll be able to see it, and then
YouTube.com/3dads and a console.
And then the crew can see it. So it has 2 thumbsticks. It's big. First off, it's big. Bigger than a Switch. It has 2 thumbsticks. It has a D-pad. It has 2 trackpads. So when you're in Linux, you can use it as a mouse. It has your triggers, but on the back, it has more mappable inputs. So kind of like your Elite controllers, right? So if you wanted to do something with these, playing Call of Duty or whatever, you can do that. So it is a super customizable platform as well. Again, I haven't had time to play with all of that stuff, but I'm looking forward to breaking it down and really doing a review on the channel of that stuff.
When you showed that up to the screen, it was a reflection of our faces on our YouTube, and I freaked out that you had our YouTube on there. Can you use it like a tablet and watch like YouTube, Twitch, Netflix, all that stuff too?
Yeah, so there's 2 modes on your Steam Deck. There is what they call game mode, which basically is it's called big picture mode on your Steam desktop app on your PC. So it's basically like big picture mode. Then you can move it into desktop mode. So in desktop mode, it runs like a Linux PC. So you can go into, you download your browser, you can literally do whatever you want on it.
I
Pretty
think
sick.
that's why you see a lot of emulation going on with it too.
Yeah, and that's another thing is like, I'm gonna try and sideload a few emulators, right, to see how it works and how they run. And you can look up on YouTube. You can go into YouTube and just write Steam Deck Netflix, and they'll show you how to get Netflix on your Steam Deck and get it running perfectly. So yeah, it is. I mean, this thing is built with it's called an APU, so it's a GPU and a CPU combined. So your processor and your graphics card is combined. So it's running on an AMD APU. So it is a computer. It is a portable computer in your hand. Excuse me, that is dedicated to video games, but honestly can do whatever you want it to do in the Linux space.
Can I mine crypto on it?
I don't know.
Shut
Maybe. Maybe you want to get a little Dogecoin, huh? You want to pay Elon for your check mark? You can do that on there too.
I just need $8 a month. Getting
Just
that
need
itch.
just need eight beans, unless you're Court and Graham, and then you need about 12.
Dude, you need too much here.
Womp womp.
Womp, womp,
I like
womp.
the big market tease though. Make sure to check out our channel for Pez's full review on the Steam Deck. Now, talking about other things that we've been able to try and get our hands on.
have a
Actually,
channel?
I'm actually gonna announce, if you haven't seen it on our Twitter, as you know, we love outright games here. That's not a secret, and we've done a lot of promoting other games because we like them. And they recently announced an ambassador program, and we're excited to share that all three of us, Court, Pez, and I, have all been accepted into their ambassador program. So we're going to be able to continue to bring you more, whether it's reviews, previews, sneak peeks, whatever it is, with Outright. And one of the games that we got our hands on recently was the new Bratz game that Court has had a chance to try. Court, tell us
That has been a nonstop playing in this household.
about it.
My daughter is truly, she has no clue who these girls are. That's the best part about it. My daughter did not grow up with it. I didn't really know who they are. Spoiler alert. Friend over at Carpool Gaming, Lockless, she was so excited about this game, who's also part of the program with us. She was extremely excited about this game. So I'm like, all right. So the premise of the game is you pick a character. So they give you between the 4 characters, these 4 girls, and you get to choose one character. Don't ask me their names. I'm really not that in tune to what's going on.
You're the target demo, though. Come on.
Well, honestly, I don't think it matters for me to know their names, but my daughter is so in tune to this game. So you go around different areas. So there's a mall, there's an airport. You have your apartment where you're putting on different outfits, which is where my daughter gets extremely into it, plus makeup. So you go around and you can collect them. There's little collectible boxes that go around, and you can open them up, and there's new outfits in there. And then the girl can change outfits. And then a lot of the quests revolve changing outfits, taking selfies, things that my daughter truly enjoys. And then when you're taking a selfie, you have to make sure that the circles line up. I will say, when you're going through the map, I do have an issue when I was watching her, and she's even having it. There's no icon showing you where to go. There's no help along the way to tell you where to go, and it zooms in very well, so you can't actually see the map out. It's like you can't, in most games we could just press, especially on a PlayStation, you could just press the center to pull the map, and then you can see where you are to go. It doesn't really do that for you. You can open up the map, it just shows you the map, but it doesn't also show where to go again. Once again, they need to have an icon on the map to show you where to go. My daughter figures it out, but that was a frustrating part for her, because there's many a times where she's playing and she's like, I don't know where to go. They have voice actors, so there are some reading parts. So for us parents there, if your kid can't read very well like mine, there are some parts you have to read, but there are some points that they're talking. And there's different areas, so you get to go to different parts of the world. So one of them was South Korea, I believe, Seoul, South Korea. Like, you get to go to different parts, and you get to do different activities in those places. You get to do yoga. There's a lot to this game that I wasn't expecting it to be this in depth. With the mini games, there's dancing, there's a lot to it. Like, I really truly was very surprised. I really didn't expect that much from the game compared to a lot of the games that I played. I was like, okay, it's just going to be an open world and you're just going to do the same thing over and over again. It wasn't that. Is it a game for me? No. Is it a game for my daughter? Yeah, because she doesn't stop playing it. And that's always my thing when I'm reviewing these games from outright. I don't look at it a perspective, do I like the game? Because like 9 times out of 10, I don't. But my daughter seems to enjoy the living daylights out of them. And that's all that matters about these games. And these games make her solving puzzles and using different parts of her brain that she doesn't realize she's using. So when she's at school, she knows she's learning, but when she's playing these games, she's got to solve a puzzle or figure out what to do for the mission. She doesn't realize that she's still using those parts of her brain. She just thinks she's having fun. And so for me, I love the educational aspect that they put into a lot of their games that helps out, and it just makes me more comfortable. I know that I can have my daughter sit in front of and play games, and I don't have to worry about the content that's coming through on the game, and that she's going to have fun. So for me, as of right now, I recommend this. You got the holidays coming up. This is a game. If you got a little girl in the house, they're truly, truly, truly going to love it.
Bratz are like super popular too. I didn't realize it, but like
I
you go down to
LOL
toys.
Dolls. So the last game we played was the one I understood, the LOL Go game. She still plays that, by the way. That's on. We have it on Switch, and she still plays that game. She literally will play. She'll get up in the morning. She'll come to my office here. She'll turn on the PlayStation. She'll play Bratz, and then she'll go downstairs and have breakfast, and she'll play LOL on the Switch. I'm just like,
the marketing for these things are so incredible. It's like you can get the toys, now you can get the games, and it's just when you actually have a good tie-in game, like that's really strong. Remember the games like we used to have? It was literally like the same exact game. They just put a different skin on it for whatever product they wanted to sell. So for you to tell us that like, okay, the game's actually good, not only is your daughter liking it, but it's making her think, like that just shows that it's not just like a reskin of like just jump over the platform dressed as this character.
and there's replayability. And I, as a parent, if you can get a game that has replayability that could take your kid's attention, winner, chicken dinner right there.
Excellent. So, shocker, another good game that we would recommend, especially for what age range would you say?
Well, my daughter is turning 6 in a couple days, so I would say she probably would have had a difficult time with this beforehand, especially, and this may sound weird, but the maturity of putting on makeup and getting the character dressed, I doubt you're going to want your 3-year-old playing that. If you do, that's fine. That's totally up to you. But I doubt that's something you want your 3-year-old girl to be, doing selfies and stuff like that. I would say it's a 6 and up, 5 and up type game.
My wife already paints my daughter's nails. I don't have control over that aspect.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm just, I mean, I don't have much experience with that either, so I defer to the experts.
Well, it's just, they're the way the girls are dressed and so on and so forth. It depends on how conservative you are about things. So for me, 6 and up is fine.
Okay,
Waba, can I give you a girl dad tip?
You may.
Learn to braid hair.
Oh.
Because someday your wife is going to be going to do something else and she's going to want her hair braided. You better learn to braid that hair.
So tonight, my wife is on overnight for work, and normally the hair gets braided before bed. I do not know how to do that. So I brush as best I can. I throw in ponytail. I make sure hair is dry, and then I place child in bed. Not obviously there's books and stuff, but I cannot do it.
You let me know when you want me to come over and I'll teach you how to braid hair. I said when my daughter was like 2 or 3, I said, honey, teach me how to braid hair. And my wife sat down. She said, this is how you do it. Because I knew.
How long did it take you?
To learn it, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. Once you do it, it's not hard.
It's gonna take me 38 minutes. Probably.
I believe in you.
1 million minutes.
So here's the thing. I used to know how to tie a tie, and then I just didn't, and I forgot for years until whatever reason, like 2 months ago, it was like the Keanu Reeves Matrix moment. Like, oh man, I know how to it popped back in. My concern is that I will use it and then I will lose the skill, just like nothing.
It's like riding a bike. You won't.
I don't know how to ride a bike anymore. But
I
Court,
want to ride my bicycle.
no, so let's shift over to more upcoming news, and this one was that Gears of War is getting a Netflix adaptation series movie.
And an adult animated series.
All right, who's got some strong thoughts? Who's got the background on it?
I'm
Graham?
gonna
What do
let
you know about it?
Graham go. I'm
Yeah,
sure he's
thank
got,
you.
like,
I was gonna say,
1,000
Graham,
percent.
kick us off with Gears of War. Where you at?
I'm apprehensive, but I'm good apprehensive. I was one of the fans that actually liked their recent Resident Evil series that got canceled after one season. I think the older stuff in it versus the older timeline versus the newer time, the older timeline was a little bit better. So I think that they can do it well. I don't think they're going to be like HBO, The Last of Us quality for it, just because they don't have that kind of caliber. It'll be interesting to see what casting goes, right? Because like everybody's all up in arms, and I'm included, that Liam Helmsworth is taking over for Henry for Geralt. Like the wrong casting can make the character just not appealable to watch.
But everybody's getting mad about that, and it's like he's being Superman. People, either you don't want him as Superman, or you want him in the show that hasn't really been that good after the last two seasons. Like that,
I would have rather had Liam as another Witcher, not as Geralt.
But
like there's many other Witchers to do.
Hey, well, I'm gonna go here. Are we really getting on our soapbox about a TV show though that wasn't very good last season? Are we really doing that right now?
The last two seasons.
Mm.
But it depends on casting. Like I can see Batista being in Gears of War.
Dude, everyone can. I saw that. That's so funny. He's like built for that.
Well, he was in the game.
Yeah, they gave him a Gears 5 skin. Was it 5?
Yeah.
It was either 4 or 5, but he has his own skin and voice lines in the game.
Of course he does. Like he's literally like they modeled the characters after him, just like giant hulking upper body torso, small bald head, and just angry rage voice. He's the Gear of War.
I'll never understand the body
I think
type.
they can do it really well if they stick close to the actual, like the lore, the concept, the original story.
What, chainsaw guns cutting people in half?
Well, I mean, all right, I'm gonna follow that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow that. Give us the evacuation day stuff from like Gears of War 1, right? Like the locust comes spewing out of the ground and like what led up to that, and the Adam Phoenix stuff, and you give me that, I'll be happy. I think two major things we need to watch out for is A, is the casting, and B, who's directing it. Because if it's an established director, which it may be, who knows? Yeah, it'll be. I think it has a chance to be good. I mean, it's a video game movie, so who knows, right? My biggest worry is they're gonna Halo series this thing, where they're like, oh, it's a whole new platoon of Gears. And you're like, I don't care about these guys. No one cares about these guys. Give us Marcus Phoenix or don't give us anybody. We don't care.
He's right there.
They take Phoenix's helmet off.
Yeah.
That didn't bother me when they took his helmet off. I was like, whatever, man. You had to do it for that scene, right? You know.
Yeah. But just think about it. When that first trailer drops, if they drop the first trailer with Mad World playing in the background,
then we're in.
Just know every single nerd is just gonna lose it.
Yep.
I think this will be way more important than people. So like Sony has done some movies, and I know people have their opinions about the Uncharted movie, but I'll say this: the people that don't know what Uncharted is and they watch that movie, they think it's fun and they're okay with it. Gamers are like losing their minds over it, which is fine, because I think we can all agree Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake, and that was an embarrassment, and they shouldn't have done that. But that's fine. And Mark Wahlberg was not Sully, and it's just terrible casting. It would have been better. The casting was terrible.
I like Tom Holland in it, but
I thought he wasn't good as
Wahlberg was weird.
Tom Holland was weird. He's not Nathan Drake. Nathan Drake is like in his 30s. He's not a or late 20s. He's
Maybe
not.
it's just because I like him. I've Spider-Man bias, and I'm okay to admit that.
But I
Wahlberg,
think
I do have Wahlberg bias.
I think Xbox needs to hit a home run here. If they want, as someone that likes his Xbox and feels disappointed, like I think the Xbox is a great console, but we didn't get any games this year. We didn't. Once again, we didn't get games.
True.
We're getting them next year. But
Except
if they want to
Grounded.
start doing TV shows and such, I think they need to hit a home run. And Gears is the perfect one, because if they're going to do an anime with Gears, I don't see how you don't. But I think it needs to be R-rated, and they need to stay true to the game. I think Pez nailed it on the head. They need to have the Phoenix fan. Like they can't go any other way.
Yeah, and
Because Halo was bad. That's all. Halo was bad.
In adult animation series, easy. Pay John DiMaggio to be Marcus again. Pay Craig Robinson to be Cole. Like, pay these guys to do good voices and be funny. You can do that all day. A live action movie, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because you need to bring it both in good casting and good direction. And that's my biggest worry is like, all of a sudden they're going to be like, oh, here's Dom and it's The Rock and he's just The Rock.
Oh, I knew you'd say that. It's
Gosh,
The Rock.
dude, I would be so in. I know you're saying it as a clowning, but give me The Rock as whatever.
Of course
I'll watch it.
Because you're a mark for The Rock. And that's okay.
I am.
And that's okay.
I got the Black Adam comic. I got the Black Adam series. I got the Black Adam Under Armour Project Rock t-shirt. I'm in.
Where's your Funko?
I don't have the Funko yet.
Yet. See, he followed that up with yet. But like, if they give good casting and they tell and they tell a source material story, right? Like, let's talk about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones was great when it followed the source material. Once it didn't, it was trash. If you don't follow the source material, it's not going to be well received by people.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
I know some people too might be worried about like Netflix doing it, because sometimes it's like, oh, hit or miss, but like look at what they recently did with Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Yeah. And the fan reaction from that, how positive it was. I don't remember if it came out after the game had been fixed, but either way, so it came after. Was it after it was fixed?
Yeah.
It came out. It actually made the game popular again. Still don't think it was a good game. Sorry, it's not that good. Sorry.
But I mean, that goes to show you that they could take something, whether or not the game was good at that point, or I mean, the reputation had already been impacted. People loved it. I actually haven't heard a bad thing about it. Animated about a video game, so that gives me a little bit more confidence in them handling Gears of War. Granted, Gears of War is a much stronger, well-known, well-loved franchise, but that's also kind of a downside of it because the expectations are so much higher than they would be if they were doing like Burger Time the movie or something.
My biggest worry is that they tell like the Gears 5 story of like whatever, the Marcus Phoenix's kids, right? Like, don't give us that. Because if you see some of the gaming stuff that they do, I don't know if you guys have watched the Cuphead series.
Yeah.
It was cute. It was good. It was funny, right? The animation style was cool. Like, it wasn't this show where I'm like, oh, I'm going to watch it every 6 months, but I watched it and I enjoyed it. I think Netflix could pull something like that off. Netflix they're not a cheap company. Like, they're not going to skimp on stuff, right? They didn't just buy the rights to make a Gears of War movie to spend $200 doing it. Right? I think they'll do a good job. The question is, what story are we going to get? And if it's not Gears 1's like evacuation day story to kind of kick this whole thing off, why are we even doing it? That's where I'm at. I don't want the Gears 4 and 5 stuff. Like, give me the Locust Queen, give me the Locust, give me all this like crazy stuff. And make it that whole trilogy saga kind of wrapped into a 2-hour movie. Or give me 2 movies or whatever, but make it that story, because that's the story people like. And make it gory and like, don't make it this PG-13 deaths happen off screen type thing. Make it a Gears of War game. We didn't play Gears of War because we wanted deep characters. We wanted to chainsaw things in half. That's what like got us into Gears of War, or at least got me into it. Gears of War made me go buy an Xbox 360.
I thought you were gonna say Gears of War made me go buy a chainsaw.
I mean that too, but no. Gears of War was the reason I bought an Xbox 360. My buddy brought his to my house, and we played Gears of War all day. Like almost beat the co-op campaign together because we just mainlined it all day. So I have a definite deep love for the franchise. I'm excited and a little optimistic, which is strange coming from me, but a little optimistic that they're actually going to put out a good product.
I think with the animation too, it depends on which style they go with, right? Because Edge Runner style worked perfectly for Cyberpunk. Cuphead style, obviously, it's mirroring the game. The newer Masters of the Universe, Kevin Smith series works there, but then you get some other kind of animation where it's just you don't want to throw like a Bob's Burgers animation to Gears of War, right? It's got to fit that style for it to be successful on the animated series as well.
I agree.
That reminded me, did you guys see the Halloween episode The Simpsons did of Death Note? Like they basically did a Death Note adaptation to The Simpsons that was good.
I don't know what Death Note is.
I've never seen Death
Netflix
Note.
series.
I'm sorry, are you Graham, do you understand? Are you a man of culture?
I understand Death Note. I've never watched it, but I know what it is.
Dude,
I'm
you're so
surrounded by
rude.
normies. That's fine. That's fine. Well, when you get
You gotta with me in anime, I'm like Akira, Ghost in the Shell, Grandizer, Goldrake, like the old classics.
With me, with anime, I'm like Transformers, G.I. Joe, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers.
The Flintstones.
Yeah. The rest of this stuff is just,
Clark
bad.
doesn't watch anything west of California. That's what you're saying. Fair enough.
You made a joke there that only you got.
Yes.
And you're like,
so listeners, because there's one weeb out there who gets it, who understands me more than you folks, and that's fine.
That's fine. It's
True.
fine.
It's fine. It's nice.
Last topic we want to talk about, a small indie game came out. We talked a little bit about it last week. God of War. Ragnarok? Swedish?
Yep.
Maybe
Swedish
it is. It's all right. I think I can officially say it. It's my game of the year. But I will put a caveat on that because I never played Elden Ring. I knew he was gonna say it. Of all people on the show, when I say it out loud, I never played Elden Ring. I will never play Elden Ring. But this is my game of the year. I've never understood when people say what their game of the year is, and someone's like, "Well, no, that's not the right game." Hey, all four of us probably have a different game of the year, is my guess. Right now, I'm going to go on a limb. Graham's is Elden Ring because he hasn't played God of War. And Pez is probably some indie game that we've never even heard of.
You heard of it.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's called Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Cult of the Lamb.
That's a good one.
And then Waba is probably like a game from the Xbox 360 generation. Like that's just.
I was gonna say Yakuza Like a Dragon, which came out 2 years ago.
See what I mean? That's fine. Everybody's got their different thing. But if we're gonna be talking about God of War, I truly feel this way. This game is 100% a PS4 game. I don't want to not. It is on PS5, but I want to say the developers even said they made this for PS4 and they were able to glow it up on PS5. But you can't tell. Like I don't see when I play it. I'm not going, oh, this is a PS4 game. I can't tell. I have since put it on the 60 frames, the 120 20 frames per second mode. I've been playing it. I don't feel it's a game that really matters, but when you can do the Berserker matches, I think I need it now. I was able to kill 2 of them today, and I felt pretty, strong man about myself. You'll get those throughout the game. This is not a spoiler because it's in everybody's review. I'm not giving any spoilers here, especially because Graham, who's definitely going to platinum this game, has not played it yet. I'm
sitting at 314 for platinums. It's going to be my 315. So I'm not.
You'll definitely platinum because that's another thing.
Make it 316 Stone Cold Steve Austin plat.
It took me about 26 hours to play through the story, and that was me at the beginning. I would say the first 10 hours I was doing every side mission. Now, The one thing I want to say about this, the side missions are amazing.
Ooh.
Do not skip them. Do them. The character building that you get throughout the side missions for your companions and people that you meet along the way, it makes for things. And I truly believe that some of the conversations I had happened because I did the side mission before. Because characters, it does. And characters will say little things and they make jokes. And that's the other thing. There's a ton of humor in this game. And I don't remember that much humor in God of War 2018. And some of it comes from Kratos. And that's just hilarious in any way, shape, or form. So they have done a masterful job with this game. I highly recommend it. I don't want to give away a lot because I think everybody should just go out and play it. I can tell you the easy things. You can get the platinum in one playthrough. From what I understand, it's going to take you 60 hours from all the trophy hunters. They say it'll take you 60 hours to get the platinum. And Gamer Graham right now is just going, I can do it in 50.
Challenge.
Spoilers don't bother me. So I already looked at the roadmap through Power Pick. So I already know it's 40 hours story mode, 60 hours if you play the harder mode. So yeah. And that's what's doing everything. And I'm gonna do everything because I love 2018. Like 2018 was a tour de force back to like God of War 2 days, right? It was monumental and it deserved Game of the Year.
Now I know you said you already looked at the trophy list. Are there difficulty-based trophies?
No.
Like, okay.
No. There are not. You can. It's just collectible based. Beat the berserkers, and collectibles and story, and do side missions. So it's all story and collectibles and nothing else. There's not like hit the guy with a Leviathan in the eye 5 times. None of that stuff. I think it's something, and I'm sure Graham would have more input on this as the better trophy hunter between himself and Waba. Yeah, I said it. PlayStation seems to be allowing their first party games, their big tentpole games, they're allowing you to get the platinum as a thing. They're making it easier to get the platinum, especially like I just got Last of Us platinum in the first playthrough, right?
It's crazy.
Definitely easier than PS3, early PS4 days. 100%. Because, you had, what was it, crushing for Uncharted 1, 2, and 3 you had to do. But yet the remaster, they made it much easier to get the crushing done. And you see a lot more trophy hunters actually populating it afterwards. But at the same time, you look at games like Infamous. Infamous was never hard to platinum. None of the 3 of them. They were all enjoyable and really easy. Same with Spider-Man. I think it depends on the developer. But yet the older God of War ones were quite painful for some of them. I have a couple. I think I have 2, and I think I have.
Yeah, 2 is easy.
Yeah, 2 and Chains of Olympus, I think I have. But then some of them are just redonkulous.
3 was ridiculous. Like one of the trophies was like, oh, you have to like one of the last missions, like you have to beat this segment of it in 5 minutes, and it's like, how do you time that? And if you miss it, like you have to like create a save. It was stupid. The part is still playing it at.
You know what? I find it interesting talking about the trophy conversation, and I don't want to go into a thing, but I honestly think these difficulty trophies and all that should be the extra. Like, you know how PlayStation will give you to get the platinum, it should just be in your playthrough. It shouldn't be go do all these things. Any platinum should be able to be gotten in one playthrough. The extra stuff should be extra trophies that they get added on that don't count towards the platinum. So like after the game, that's your end game. They're going to be like, hey, once you finish the game, a bunch of new trophies will populate for you. Like 2 weeks after release, they'll give you a bunch of new trophies that are like beat it on God of War, the best difficulty there is, like all those kind of things. But that's just my opinion. I truly think the platinum should be obtainable just by finishing the game. I get it. It probably lessens trophy hunters because I've seen that about God of War. People are already poo-pooing it because you can get the platinum in one playthrough. And I'm just like, weird thing to poo-poo on.
Keeping fun.
I agree, but it's weird.
I know you're not.
If you look at the achievements for Xbox, right, when they have a DLC or they have a title update, it rolls all the way through it. So like Forza 5 is like, I think it's up to 1600 gamer score right now. Whereas if that was on PlayStation, you'd have your platinum list and then you'd have DLC, and they'd have their own separate trophy list, right? And they wouldn't count towards your platinum. it's tricky because I just finished Modern Warfare 2. Got the platinum, got my co-op trophies done.
Oh, yes, he did. And he was sending me updates while he was getting it. And then he got one really hard one. And I was actually very proud of him. It was hard.
The ultra rarity is 0.2 right now for the platinum. Mr. Badbit helped me out, or we did the co-op missions together, the two of us. But I did my entire playthrough on the second hardest difficulty because you can't unlock the hardest difficulty. So I did it on veteran. There were parts in it where I was watching Maka and PowerPix's guide, and they're all like, "Don't do this on gun. Don't do this on veteran. Do this on recruit. You're gonna die." And I died 75 times on going for one trophy. 85 going for another, because I just wanted to get it done in one playthrough. I didn't want to have to do another playthrough just to go back and just do all of them, right? So, yeah, it's weird because difficulty trophies. If there's some trophies out there that they'll put, do it on the hardest difficulty after you finish it on the second hardest difficulty, and it's like,
Last of Us did that, remember?
I don't want to play it again. Like, I'm done. I enjoyed it the first time. I have to do that right now with Plague's Tale. I'm going through, or I have to get extra skills and New Game Plus. It's like I enjoy the game, but
do you?
I really want to sink that time into it when I could be playing something else.
It's a matter of pride.
Yeah.
The game's not good.
I don't know. Yeah.
So,
but yes, I would say to everybody, because I've talked about God of War a lot. We have a review out on Three Dads there.
Fantastic, by the way, coming from a third party.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't want to tell you anymore. I'd rather, if you want to know anything about the game, let me know. I'm just afraid at this point that anything, like I said something today and someone was like, "That's a spoiler." I'm like, what? I think everything is a spoiler at this point because it doesn't matter what I say. I'm just like, okay. I put a screenshot and it was nothing on the screen, and 4 people messaged me. Graham wasn't one of them. I just was like, he's like, "Oh, beautiful picture." I'm like, if you only knew. And all these other people that had played the game were like, "Dude, I can't believe you're doing that." I'm like, there's literally nothing in the thing. It's just a screen. There is nothing there. And I'm just like, I think we've gotten to the point, and this is my opinion, that we get so sensitive about spoilers that, you know what? Just get off the internet. Because like it is what it is. You've gone through the whole walkthrough on how to get all the trophies before you even played the game. I don't care. I still find it impactful when I'm playing the game because I get into things. But like Marvel movies and all that, when everybody's like, "Oh, I don't want to know what happens," I'm like, yeah, I'm the one who's looking at the spoiler review within seconds just to see everything. I don't care.
I go see him on Thursday night, so Twitter can't.
But like, I think it's unfair that if you're playing a video game and you really want to share something, people are like, "You can't talk about that." I'm like, you know what? I can talk about whatever I want. I'm not going to tell Graham because he's a friend and he's asked not to, but like, it's just like, if I want to, like, what the heck, man? The game's amazing. I really want everybody to play it, but I highly, 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 highly recommend you play God of War 2018 first. I find it.
So play it.
Yeah, I would think it's not fair, first off, to the developers to not play 2018 because it is a direct continuation. It's almost seamless. Man, it's so good. I almost think about playing it again, but I'm debating. Like, I like the game so much because I don't care about platinums, Graham. I kind of want it because I got Last of Us and I was like, and I'm like, I'm having a little bit of I'm having trouble playing other games right now because I was trying to review Gotham and we got Gotham and we got Gotham at the same time I got my God of War code. So I played God of War. Any game I go back, I'm like, this game's not God of War. This game's not. I'm having a hard time playing video games right now. I am playing an embargo game right now that I'm just like, this game is just not God of War.
My man's struggling with this game right now.
I am struggling with this game, Graham. Like, I am playing a game and I am struggling to play it. I am forcing myself to play it 3 hours a day. I'm forcing.
I think I know maybe which one, but yeah. Oh. You'll let me know when the embargo is over if I was right or
there you go.
Answer this question for me. How is, and everyone knows this character's a thing, how is Ryan Hurst's Thor?
Honestly?
Because I love Ryan Hurst. Is he?
So
perfect.
He's phenomenal as Thor. I will say this because you know what? If I go too much into explaining how good he is as Thor, I truly think I'm giving away because that's the thing that I love so much about this. When I feel like I could talk about gameplay mechanics and whether people think those are spoilers or not, but the characters and how well they did with a character like Thor and other characters that are in the game that people don't know about yet. Even though today I saw all the voice actors and such, they were just like, I'm so glad you get to see my character, and everybody's character sort of showed up on the internet today. But it is what it is. He did a phenomenal job, and each character has its own idiosyncrasies and things that you either love or hate about them, but you know them, you remember them by the end of the game. And almost everybody in this game has some sort of arc. Like every character has an arc. Like, a lot of times you get side characters and they're just it's just an NPC on the side. At the very end of the game, something that it's just like that guy had an arc too. Like, oh my god, like
Well,
it's just.
They did that with 2018 too. Every single character that you met.
I'm talking about. I mean ones that you didn't even think you met. You'd be so surprised. There's even running jokes throughout the game. Like, dang, they did such a good job with this game. Like, I can't stop. I just want, you know what? Before New Year's, I will get the platinum in this game, and it's gonna be hard because those berserkers, who they're gonna beat me up. They're gonna beat me up good.
Did you get the platinum for 2018?
No, I did not. So I don't have many platinums at all. I could, you know what? I could even, and I told Waba this before. I think I have one that Waba was like, well done, but that's just because I grinded the living daylights out of the game. I don't have many.
Platinum Division too.
Well, yeah, but I platinumed, which is not an easy platinum. And I got I remember when I platinumed because Pez was playing with me, and when I platinumed that game, I was so happy. And he was like, "Dude, you really just do that?" And I was like, "I really just did that." Because some of the trophies were bugged in that, but one of them I got. So Division 2. I got so Ratchet and Clank I platinumed. I don't have many platinums. I wish I could just click on platinums.
So you need to go back and platinum God of War 2018.
I don't think I was. So Graham, I'm going to tell you something about myself. I'm not much of a go backer. I platinum Ghost of Tsushima. One of my favorite games of all time. One of this Chicken on the Road. Oh Jesus! Marvel Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man. Let's see a lot of the PlayStation ones. See, they're easy to get the platinums on. Horizon, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So that's the one. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I've got every trophy in that game. Even the DLCs.
That's just full on degeneracy.
That is actually 263 hours.
Disgraceful.
That's nothing. Pez, should I tell him about what my hours on Division 2 were?
Do it.
I think you should.
So it was 2 years in a row. You know how PlayStation sends you that email, Graham, and says this is how much you played of that game? 968 hours I played of that game.
Rookie numbers. Gotta pump those numbers up.
True.
Not even 4 digit
4 years,
numbers.
Graham. I played it for 4 years straight. Just played it.
Just only bathroom breaks.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask now because Pez doesn't matter. Waba, I'm gonna ask you first because Graham, he'll definitely have an answer for this right away. Your most cherished platinum. Do you have an answer
my
for this,
gosh.
Pez?
I have 2 platinums.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
that's gonna
let's
be
go
easy
first.
answer.
Waba has to think.
My God, I platinumed Rocket League and like Batman Lego 3 on the
Ooh,
Vita.
you still did it.
Because they were easy.
I think it's pretty impressive.
I'm not a trophy hunter at all.
All right, Graham, because Waba's still thinking. What is your
give
most
me-
cherished platinum?
It's probably a toss-up between Death Stranding, which took a
Jesus.
good 200 hours to get.
That's like paint drying.
Is one of
I
the
enjoyed
trophies drink 100 cans of Monster?
it. No.
Okay.
Graham, you could be our trophy guy for 3 dads. We could hire Graham and he could be our trophy guy.
Yeah, we
Because Waba doesn't know how to get trophies.
Hire him
I
with
choose
what?
not to.
We don't get paid.
Got it. Yeah.
Well, that's
you guys
what
are
I
getting
mean.
paid?
We hire him in friendship, right?
Yeah.
And probably Assassin's Creed 2 because it was my very first.
That's a really good one.
Honestly, that is my favorite Assassin's Creed by far, and that was the very first game ever on the Xbox that I got 1,000 gamer score.
Yeah, see?
All right, I got 3 I want to share, but so the one that
Look
I
at him.
just let's say so the one of them that I don't know if I'm proud of it, but I did it was Duke Nukem Forever. I got one of the trophies by accident. You had to keep your pistol the whole game, and I did, and you get a silver. And if you don't, you have to go back and play the whole thing again, which no one wants to do. So
No, because the game's bad.
I endured that. I don't know why I did that. I loved getting actually let me just do the other one I like. Persona 4 Golden.
What a great game.
What was that? Like
Have
500 hours?
I believe so. I think I got it. I played a lot of it and I ended up getting that and then I did Persona 5 Plat, then I did Persona 5 Royal because those games are perfect just like Rise and Ann. So, I love those games.
GA best girl.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Didn't get 4. I just got a trophy nobody else got. Hardcore Rise fan, which isn't as rare as it used to be. So maybe I unintentionally lied to you. But another one I very much like, Valkyria Chronicles, the remaster. So they didn't have a trophy set when it first came out on PS3. Now that's a game I love. It's a combination of turn-based combat and real-time strategy. I love that game so much I named my dog after it. So
The dog ate my homework.
his name is not Homework.
I know what your dog's name is.
So when they came out with a remastered one, I got it and I platinumed it like right away. And that one I would say I'm most proud of, not because it's challenging, but because it was something I wanted to do for years. And I couldn't because there was no trophy set for the game. Like they didn't support it. And then thankfully they remastered it. So love you, Sega. Never change. You're beautiful.
Sega, please change if you're gonna do another open world Sonic game.
Nobody cares about Sonic, all right? Just let me have my like weird anime games that they somehow publish.
How about this? I showed
Okay.
Emma. I showed my daughter. Pez, you can edit that one out. I showed my daughter a review of the game Sonic Frontiers because she originally wanted it, and after she watched the review, she's like, "Yeah, I'm good, Dad." I'm like, "All right." I was like, "Aw." She's like, "I don't want to play this." I'm like, "Fair enough."
I also platinumed Hatsune Miku Project Diva.
Oh, you're still going
on PS3.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to 8.2, and the reason why that was good is because it's a Japanese rhythm game and nobody platinums those. Get wrecked, nerds.
No one did. Well, hey Graham, if you want to go out and get some rare ones, the very first Injustice. So I almost platinum that game, but no one got a lot of trophies in that game. So if you go on like the PSN trophy board and you see like rarities, all the trophies in that are ultra rare. Also, MLB The Show on Vita, the very first time PlayStation Vita had an MLB The Show. If you got it on Vita, those trophies, any of those trophies are like ridiculously rare, and I got
Injustice is 0.1.
Yeah, and I've got them.
That's ridiculous.
So yeah, it was a free game.
My rarest, honestly, is Battlefield Hardline. That's my
What
rarest.
really? That's rare?
That's my rarest platinum.
The game is fun. Oh, because you have to drive like 250 miles or whatever. It sucks when they shut the servers off. That was a great game. I got that one too. Yeah, like I remember like
we should do a trophy episode. Just bring back. There should be no trophies and no achievements that should be ever locked behind multiplayer. None of them.
Agreed.
So there was one I was playing Medal of Honor, like not the one with like the guy with the beard or whatever. Great game. I'm 1 trophy away. You have to get like 3 kill streaks in like one game or something. So, you know, I got the last kill streak. I'm looking down the binoculars to set it, and the game effing ends. I never get that trophy. I'm 1 trophy away forever. I stopped playing the game because I tried so long to get that. So online trophies, I like them sometimes, but most of the time, like Court, you said, I
don't think they're fair. I think they're garbage, especially like the Lego Star Wars, the original one. You can't ever get a platinum actually, you can't get a platinum because there was no trophies at the time. You can't get all the achievements on it because there's an online trophy. You have to play with someone online to get an achievement. Not cool, dude.
So Assassin's Creed were the worst for the multiplayer trophies. Like
they were so hard.
Like Brotherhood, Revelations, all of them. Yeah, I didn't platinum them because of the multiplayer. But it's funny you mentioned Division 2, right? So it took me a month to get the platinum.
Oh, it didn't take me long to get the platinum. I got it when it was Pez gave up on the game after 6 months in. I didn't just get the platinum.
What a coward.
When new content would drop, I would get Pez and the rest of the boys together, and I'd be like, all right, I've already finished it. And they're like, what? Like the content would have dropped that morning. I've already gone through and finished all of it. And I would Sherpa them through and get them all the loot. And they could just be like, go through. And they'd call me Rambo because I would just go through and mow every enemy down. I'm like, don't worry. Just pick up the loot. Just pick up the loot. I would know how to get. I knew the meta in that game so badly that I could run you through and get you exotics very easily. Like I'd be like, Pez, just come out with me for a night and I'll get you a bunch of exotics. And we'd be done playing and he'd be like, dude, I'm like, yeah, I know. It's okay. Like I knew where the farms were because there was this guy that would pop out of a sewer. Like I knew it all. I had every exotic. Oh, dude, I love that game. I don't want to turn it on. It's like MLB The Show. It's a game I can't turn back on because it's like crack.
Probably more expensive too with all those transmogs too.
True.
Any last final thoughts from the group?
No.
Yeah, I got nothing. Graham,
I
nothing.
don't want to say any last words because that sounds
Actually,
ominous. But any final thoughts?
One thing we didn't
Pez!
ask: when are you guys gonna play God of War?
Or play the 2018 or
Oh
whatever.
my god.
Yeah, Waba hasn't played 2018. Yeah, I want
How about
Stuff to do the past several years.
Okay, so me and Graham live in Ontario, so we can't do anything about this. Pez, you have to film this, by the way. You have to get like a Hulk smash hand or like any giant hand that's soft and funny, and you gotta slap him upside the face.
It's a tax write-off too if you come filming for content.
Of course you knew
If
that.
we can upload it to YouTube, it's a tax write-off.
Easy.
Why haven't you played? I have played God of War 18. Why haven't
I don't
you
have an
played it yet?
excuse because it's on the PlayStation games or whatever.
You don't. For
And
someone
it's so good.
someone that has lambasted me over Sony exclusives, I have beaten it and loved it, and I'm gonna play this one post review season because I want to be engrossed in the game. I'm gonna play it. So Waba, catch up, dude. Come on.
I'm gonna play the old one before the holidays because that's gonna be one of my ho holiday.
Play
requests.
it before Thanksgiving.
I'm going
That's
to.
the first.
Pez, you didn't platinum Ghost of Tsushima?
No,
That seems like you love that game.
I do. I'm actually. It's in my PS5 right now. The director's cut.
I'm only playing the only games I'm playing right now. I'm playing NHL. I think I've given up on Gotham Knights, and I can't believe I'm going to say that. I'm playing that thing for review, and I'm playing Sackboy on PC because it's easy for me because it's on my PC and it doesn't. I don't know. I can't stop playing it. I'm
You
weird.
could play it on your Steam Deck.
I don't have a Steam Deck. I'm not a portable player. You know that. That's just not my thing.
Last thing. A review of Gotham Knights will be up on 3 Dads on Console on Friday.
I wonder how that's going to go.
So it's
Who's
done.
reviewing it?
Me?
Oh, okay. So we don't have to wait for Court to finish it.
No.
Yeah, no. Court is pretty
That
close.
wouldn't
I'm gonna
happen.
finish it because I want to do the story. I'm just having a hard time with it. It's like I don't want to get into this whole thing of like saying every game is great because I feel like that's the new thing on Twitter that you can't say a game isn't. It's not that it's bad. I think the story is good. I just think it has a lot of problems and it makes it hard for me to get through the story. That's all.
As I told Court and Waba, Gotham Knights, just like the Knights themselves, suffer from being in the shadow of its predecessor.
I love that line so much.
But there are good elements in the game. The story is great. If you're a Batman fan, you'll love the story. Everything wrapped around that is hit or miss. But Friday,
Yeah, I don't even the collectibles are terrible.
yeah. So, but Friday, like I went back to Arkham City and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I understand what I like. Friday, it'll be live on the youtube.com/3dads on a console. It's about 8.5 minutes long. My full breakdown of Gotham Knights and what I thought about it. Graham, have you played it?
I think we need to get Gotham or Arkham Knight, Arkham City, and the first one I can't remember, Arkham Asylum, X optimized. Like
Be great.
Yes, please. Honestly,
I want to
that's
go
one thing
back.
I love about this thing.
I want to go back and play them, but I want to play them in 4K. I want to play them with like today's features. Yeah, because they're always on sale, but they're not optimized.
There's
they're great.
Minecraft hockey.
There's everything hockey. Or everything Minecraft.
All right.
All right. Well, folks, thank you once again for an amazing episode. Gamer Graham, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoyed having you here.
Always.
When you're not hanging out with us, where can folks find more of you and your content?
At GTM618 on Twitter and GamerGram618 on YouTube.
All right. Go follow the folks that support the folks. All of you listening, thank you so much for your time and attention. Again, make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/3dadsandaconsole. We have a bunch of shorts that come out frequently. We got a review coming up, like Pez mentioned, on Friday.
Not his shorts.
Sorry?
I said short videos, not his shorts coming.
Oh, his shorts were
Oh.
on.
Oh,
Listen,
we don't want to see his shorts.
If someone wants to purchase my shorts, DM me and we'll take care of that.
Only Pez.
That's right.
Hashtag whatever. If you had fun, make sure to rate us 5 stars on your podcast platform of choice. Again, subscribe to us, and yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys for hanging.